It's your girl Gemini Jazz with House of Chiron, and we are back with another episode of Galactic Gossip. This is going to be your 2-week forecast for the month of February, and we're going to cover the energy from February 1st until February the 15th. Okay, so starting off the beginning of the month, we have all planets in forward movement. They are all direct, and this is going to be here until the end of April. So there's going to be some forward movement, some momentum, and some progression that we can just kind of like have at our fingertips, using this energy to push things forward and propel and launch and initiate and do all the things that we could not have done this entire retrograde season. Okay, so hopefully during the retrograde season, you were able to get an idea on what you wanted to make changes to. And if you couldn't, then hopefully you took some time to take a break and rest. Okay. Now, moving forward, the choice is really ours to walk through these doors that are opening over the next 3 months or so. And so, the retrograde season was intense. Whereas, like, the remaining part of this winter season moving into spring is going to be a little bit with ease. It's going to be a little easier, a little bit more flow that's happening for us moving forward. Now, February's lunar cycle involves, a Leo full moon, and that happens this week. So that's the energy that we are going to talk about when I go through the 12 signs. And this Leo full moon is activating that fixed energy again, right? Because we have the lunar nodes that are still navigating Taurus and Scorpio. And so things could get a little intense at the start of this month. But also much of what is destined, has to do with releasing and receiving. So that is that nodal kind of energy. The lunar nodes kind of remind us of that. Then the rest of the month, so we have this new moon that's happening this month, and it's in the poetic sign of Pisces. And so this is helping us to create the life that we could only dream of, right? So moving beyond, the transits that are happening this month, we have a few personal planets that are moving. We have a conjunction here and there. This month is really going to help us flow into the spring season where the major energetic shifts begin, right? That comes into March, right? So we have Saturn and we have Pluto moving into different signs. So that is huge. Now, before we get into the rest of the energy for this month, I have a few quick announcements. Okay. First and foremost, let me just introduce myself as I should do every month. I am Jasmine Wilson, also known as Gemini Jazz, the owner and founder of House of Chiron, astrology, Reiki, and mental wellness. And so here you can get all of your healing needs, your astrological insights and updates. I do these Galactic Gossip 2-week forecasts, every 2 weeks per month. And we also have Reiki services. And so sometimes I like to tie in the chakra focus of the month and whatnot. And if you would like more information, you can go to my website, and I have a blog that is there, and it talks a little bit more about all the things, all the energy that I discuss here, and then kind of like expands on it as well. And you can see all of my services and whatnot. So there you have it. I also, a little bit more about me, I also am currently in school for, I'm in the graduate program to as a master of social work. I couldn't get that out. Masters of social work. So that is part of the journey of becoming a therapist, where I can include all of the astrology and the spirituality and, all the bodies, right, of the body, and work on mental health and all those things. So that is a little bit. I have a degree in psychology already, and so now I'm going for the master's. So there you have it. All right. Now, get into these announcements. The celestial city, let's talk about this. All right. So over the retrograde season, as you all know, Mars has been retrograde and it's newly direct. And so during that time of Mars being retrograde, I experienced extreme burnout. Too many things. My hands are just in too many different pots doing so many different things. So there's multiple things that I've had to let go of in order to stay focused and stay on the journey, stay on course. you know, having my attention and having so much on my plate to do is, and you know, for any of us, it can be a bit of a distraction. So with that being said, you know, I've had to let go certain services that I offer. I've had to let go other, you know, initiatives and ventures that I was involved in. Had to kind of like let a lot of things kind of go because I have a goal, I have a focus, I have things that I actually need to do that are in alignment with the purpose, right? So with that being said, I am dissolving the Celestial City membership. Okay, so that comes with much consideration, time, reevaluating and thinking and trying to, you know, figure out how I can keep it because I felt a sense of responsibility for my community that I've built over these last 2 years. So the Celestial City has been open for 2 years. It'll be exact 2 years in March. And so February will be the last month that we actually have you know, the Celestial City functioning and operating. So I say that I'm having to let it go because I'm in grad school. It's very demanding. There are also things that I desire to work on that I have not had the time or the attention to do so. And adding grad school to my plate and whatnot has been you know, eye-opening that this is part of the plan. I have to do the grad school thing. I have to get it done. And I put it off for 2 years. This entire time that I was supposed to go back to school, I've been doing the membership, and I've learned a great deal about myself as well as others during this time. But ultimately, I have to get the grad school done. But it does not mean that the services that I offer will stop. Okay. So the new structure that House of Chiron is going into, although the Celestial City is dissolving, I will still be offering my new moon ceremonies and I will still be offering my full moon Reiki. I'm just opening up to the public. It's not just going to be, conducive to just the or just strictly for the membership. So I'm opening it up. So the new moon ceremonies, I will be offering those for everyone. There will be an open, you know, link you can purchase to join us at the new moon ceremony. I'll be doing that once a month, of course, you know, with the new moon. And then the full moon Reiki is going to be a pre-recorded video. So I'm going to do the Reiki. Once you purchase the Reiki video, I'm going to do the Reiki for you and, you know, kind of walk you through setting the intentions and remaining open and whatnot. And so then you'll have access to that Reiki energy. I'm doing it live, but you can always have it for like, you know, a certain amount of time that's going to be available to those who purchase the Reiki. And that will be on the full moon. And that's also going to be open to the public. I am not, so part of the Celestial City included doing 12 readings and, you know, for the members, for all the members. So I'm having to cut that out because that is, you know, as you can imagine, it's time consuming on top of doing galactic gossip and my, you know, monthly updates of all the transits and the things that kind of happen throughout the month. It can be quite a bit. I'm always in front of the camera, and then now I'm having to do, you know, schoolwork. It's a lot. So something has got to give. And yeah, so that's another reason why the membership is dissolving. But ultimately, there will not be any readings for all 12 signs like how I was offering in the membership, but I will still be doing galactic gossip. This will still be the same thing. But I'm opening up the services and things that I offered for the membership. I'm opening it up to the public. So it's a good thing, but it's also a very sad thing to see it go. Doesn't mean that it's going to be gone forever. It's just there's going to be some structuring and restructuring that happens. Okay. Now, also, just another thing, Reiki sessions, individual Reiki sessions are available. So if you need to have a Reiki session that's outside of the full moon Reiki, you can always book your own private session with me. And that information can be found on my website or hit the description box below where all the things will be listed and whatnot. All right. So that is all of the announcements that I have. So let's get into this February galactic gossip. And this is going to cover the energy for February 1st until February the 15th. And we're going to start off with the full moon that happens at 16 degrees Leo on February 5th at 12:28 p.m. Central Standard Time. And so with it being in Leo, Leo is bold, it's expressive, it's that sign of our zodiac. And full moons are the biggest and brightest time in our lunar cycle every month. And so as the moon reaches this illumination in this courageous kind of energy, it still is going to be forming a tense aspect, right? So although it's very courageous and it's very bold, it's like we're having to this need to tap into our sense of courageous spirit in order to tackle the tense energy that's here, right? So it's going to be forming a T square, which is two squares in one opposition. Right. So those are challenging aspects, so to speak. The squares, they are challenges that ultimately provide growth. And then the opposition is a need to find balance or need to find common ground between one aspect and another. Okay. So when you have two of those square energies plus an opposition, is going to bring some tense vibes, especially in the fixed signs where our lunar nodes are. Okay, so we have the North Node in Taurus and we have the South Node in Scorpio. So it's going to be making those aspects to the fixed signs, right? Which are Taurus, Leo, and Aquarius. So the sun is currently in Aquarius and we have the North Node in Taurus. Nothing is in Leo as of yet, but there's that. So the T squares, right? Like I said, one opposition and two squares between three astrological bodies. And in this case, we have the sun in Aquarius, and it's going to be opposing the moon in Leo, right? So that's the thing that's in Leo. There are no other planets there, but the luminary, the moon is there in Leo. And so while we have these two there, they're both going to be squaring Uranus that's in Taurus. So current situations may seem chaotic. They may seem tense. Maybe even some pettiness going on, right? But it's all going to be some type of entertaining kind of vibes because it's in Leo. Leo is grandiose, it's over the top, right? So might be some pettiness, some cattiness, right? Catty. Leo line, get it. But ultimately entertaining things, and I don't see it being anything too extreme, so to speak, like nothing that's going to be like detrimental. But definitely some things that just might be a little irritating, whatever. Still, with this energy, we're still being pushed to release what isn't working because it's a full moon in Leo. What isn't working, and also being reminded to ignore the drama, let go by choosing which battles to fight, and also make the necessary changes to live our lives courageously, right? So what needs to be changed so that way you can, take that leap. All right. So the moon in Leo is also going to be making a harmonious aspect to Mars, right? So it's making this loose sextile to Mars. It's in Gemini, while Uranus is also making a sextile to Venus and Pisces. So although it's relatively a quiet time in the universe, with our astrological energy, the inner world of the individual really determines how one will manage this intense energy with this full moon, right? So it all depends on your internal space, right? It's all about having the internal tools to solve the problems that are being presented in order to get to the other side of this thing, right? So with Mars forming that sextile to the moon, is giving us the ability to have like the protection of our emotional space. And Uranus is sextile in Venus, so there may be some unexpected changes or surprises that come into play when it comes to like your relationships or your money, things of that nature. And so keep in mind that also Mars gives us the ability to not only protect but to separate from things that no longer work for us, so it's protecting us from something that could be potentially harmful, whether now or down the road, but also giving us the ability to separate from it. So if we're able to recognize it, right, you need to have the internal tools to recognize any of that that's going on. All right, so we have Mercury making a conjunction to Pluto. This happens once a year. So Mercury is our communicator. Pluto rules our psyche and our secrets, and secrets and revelations could be surfacing at this time, especially with the mighty conjunction. Also, conjunctions represent a new beginning. So there could be a time of some new psychological revelations that come in, or being able to understand certain fears and certain dynamics, right? This energy is an ideal time to study, research, dive into the abyss of the unknown, uncover mysteries or even any type of perplexing topics that, that could arise at this time. It's a wonderful time to kind of like dive into that. Also, this energy is favorable for psychological analysis, right? So developing self-awareness, shadow work, therapy, or just simply speaking to someone with great skill and knowledge will be beneficial around this time. But this is definitely indicating like a new beginning to build a new foundation towards our, releasing those psychological fears, right? Because Capricorn, and, with Pluto being in Capricorn, it's towards the ending of those degree points. It's a lot to do with releasing or coming to terms or recognizing or something coming to the surface about some type of conditioned fears about something, whether it's your environment or something that's going on psychologically, right? So then we have Mercury entering into Aquarius on February 11th until March the 2nd. So Mercury going through the sign of Aquarius helps us to tap into that genius energy that we all possess. We can think outside the box. We can build a community to expand our network. We can create plans to achieve our goals. Mercury is a busybody this month. It's doing a lot of movement, right? So it's going to sextile Jupiter and Chiron that are both in Aries, right? And this is going to broaden our views of our self-image and increase our confidence and our enthusiasm. So that's a good thing. There's also going to be a lovely trine to Mars that's in Gemini. And so this is going to give us the drive to go after the goals that we need go after those goals with the plans that we've already created while we were under the Aquarius new moon, right, last month. And then although, Mercury in Aquarius feels electrifying and, energetic, Mercury is going to be square Uranus, right? Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius and Uranus is in Taurus. And so this will intensify that restrictive kind of chaotic vibes that we've been experiencing with the fixed signs. So just kind of keep that in mind as well. And it could feel really electric, but also it could be a combination of excitement and anxiety, right? Because they kind of stem from the same space. So just kind of keep that in mind. Make sure that you are doing all that you need to keep your nervous system in check. All right. So then last but not least, for these 2 weeks, we have Venus making a new beginning with Neptune at 4 degrees Pisces. So Venus comes into a conjunction with Neptune on February 15th at 6:25 a.m. Central Standard Time. And so conjunctions indicate new beginnings, right? And so Neptune and Venus, this happens about once a year. And Venus, they both rule creativity and artistry and love and spirituality in some kind of way, right? So one is more spiritual, whereas the other is more sensual, and more about the body versus, the actual physical body versus the spiritual body, right? So these two coming together during this time is bringing a new connection in love, right? Also, you might find new love during this time, or we could just be embarking on a deeper level of intimacy and harmony within our existing relationships. And they don't necessarily have to be romantic partnerships. It could be your friendships. It could be however, but building a sense of intimacy within your connections with other people. Now, with these two planets connecting, we can dream, right? We can dive into our creativity and our artistry, right? So during this time, that might increase. You might pick up a project that you put to the side, or you might start a new project at this time. Whether it's in art, it's in music, it's in dance, these things. So alternatively with this, we might feel less enthusiastic about getting things done because this energy is all about just kind of lazing about and watching movies and snacking, and the luxuriousness of Venus just kind of wants to be kept and taken care of, and just want to eat, feed me grapes while I sit here and watch the artists play for me or watch TV. That energy might be kind of like heightened at this time. So we're not going to be enthusiastic about getting things done, or even kind of taking into consideration that Neptune is here, and Neptune can bring illusions. And, we might be seeing things with rose-colored lenses, not, seeing what's happening, clearly enough, right? Seeing situations and things around this time. All right. So there you have it. And that's all the energy that I have for these 2 weeks. So now with that being said, let's get into the energy for all 12 signs, talking about this full moon, as I just mentioned. So these are, full moons is the time for releasing. So this is kind of like the harvest season. This is what are you harvesting? What have you achieved? What are you letting go because you recognize that it has not worked, taking into stock what has worked, and then releasing what has not, and then moving on into the next phase, right? So that's what we're going to be discussing now. Getting into the reading for all 12 signs for this full moon, starting off with Aries, sun, moon, and rising. We have the full moon, 16 degrees Leo. This is happening in your 5th house. All right. So with it being in your fifth house, this has a lot to do with coming into recognition of, or achievement of a creative project, letting go a certain level or coming to a certain sense of completion, with your children or your romantic partnerships or achieving something in a romantic partnership. This might be a time where you come into a new romantic partnership. Okay. And something that's going to be really providing a sense of security in you, right? The fifth house is also the house of your hobbies and your joy. So you might find that during this time, you're embarking into having more fun, you're diving into your sense of creativity, or a creative project could be launching at this time. Or you're just getting back into old hobbies, things of that nature, or you are recognizing what you need to get back into to bring that sense of joy and fun and adventure back into your life. Now, also the moon is here, right? So it's the full moon. The moon rules your fourth house, which is Cancer. And so it's about your home and family. It's about your sense of security. It's about your safety. It's about the things that bring you comfort. It could also be about literal real estate, right? So that could be something. Maybe you're going to be receiving some type of harvest for your home. Maybe you're selling it, or you're involving yourself into like a new home-based creative project as well. Now, the dispositor, aka the ruler of this moon, is the sun, because the sun rules Leo. And so the sun is currently in your 11th house in Aquarius. So that's where your focus is, right? So your focus is on achieving your goals. It's on your friendships. So you might have been really embarking on connecting with your friends. You're recognizing that, you have been filling yourself up by doing so. You feel more in alignment with achieving your goals. So this also could indicate that you're going to be receiving or reaping the harvest, or some type of recognition or achievement for something, some creative project that you had set out and you're launching it at this time. So also maybe connecting with your friends, or maybe a large group of people or large organization, things of that nature. And that's where your focus is. It's on your goals, it's on your friendships, it's on large networks, things of that nature. Okay. So full moon energy, Aries. All right. Now moving on to Taurus, sun, moon, and rising. This full moon at 16 degrees Leo is happening in your fourth house. So this is the house of home and family. This is about your current living situations. It's about your own real estate, mother energy. It's about your traditions, your lineage also. So it could be family, like generational type karma things, things coming into recognition about your mother, or how you are a mother, if that is, applicable to you. All right. So with this full moon happening on the 5th, in your fourth house, the moon is the ruler of your third house, right? So this has a lot to do with, coming into a sense of comfort, or building a new stability, or recognizing what needs to be released when it comes to your immediate environment, or something with your siblings, right? Because the moon rules your third house, which is a house of siblings, or small business, or maybe even your vehicle, right? So recognizing something along those lines where you're releasing something. Maybe you're letting go of a car, maybe you're letting go of a certain environment or a certain community, building a new foundation, or kind of like coming into a sense of achievement when it comes to like a home and family. So this also could be that you're signing like a contract or documentation, or you're receiving news about a home or something along those lines, or even about your mother. That could be something. She might be moving to a new location or moving to a new home. Now, like I said, the ruler of this moon is the sun, because the sun rules Leo, and the sun is currently in your 10th house, which has a lot to do with your career, your public image, and that's where your focus is, your responsibilities to the world, your career, also your social status, right? So lots of focus, lots of recognition. You could also be receiving some type of recognition from someone in a position of authority, maybe even coming into a newfound sense of stability and comfort in the work that you do. Maybe you started a new job recently. So this is all something that could be happening, but you could be releasing and letting something go. So this also could indicate that you're going to be focused more, although the focus is in your career, it's like you're letting something go because you're focused more inward, right? Fourth house, your inner comfort, your inner peace, but also your mothering, your home and family. So it could be that you're releasing something from a public front also, or you could just be launching something too. All right. So for Gemini, sun, moon, and rising, this full moon in Leo is happening in your third house. And this is the house of your immediate environment, transportation. This is about education as well. That's something I failed to mention for the Taurus energy, but Education, it could be lower level education, skills and trades. It's about movement. It's about, quick trips and things of that nature. Like inner, state type of trips going on, like, a road trip. Also, it's about siblings and small business. So with the full moon happening, you are coming into harvest, you're coming into recognition or achievement of something in that area of your chart, right? So the moon is the ruler of your second house. So this could very well indicate, money coming from, education, or for small business, or income that you're making from a small business. This could be like the releasing of something, the letting something go, releasing of a possession, something that you own, something that you possess, right? Because second house is about your possessions, and the moon rules your second house. Now, also the dispositor of this moon is the sun. And so the sun is currently in your ninth house, which is about higher education. It's about long distance journeys. This is about your beliefs as well. So this could have a lot to do with mentorships and programs, and being a mentor, and then having to let go of something, or coming into achievement of something. Maybe, in education, maybe you are going to be receiving a certification for the work that you've been doing over, maybe you're in the CERT program, getting a new skill, a new trade. And so now you're going to be getting a certification, like it's over with. And right now you can take that skill and trade, and you can apply it to your work, apply it to your journey. With this full moon, it's all about, letting something go as well. So what are you releasing? What are you tapping in to be more courageous? So you're tapping into being more courageous in your environment, in your small business, with your siblings, with your community, and finding that value in yourself, and being more comfort in the value that you offer to others as well. Okay. So now we have Cancer, sun, moon, and rising. The full moon is happening in your second house. And so the second house is about your income. It's about your possessions, your partnerships, the things that you own. It's about, the things that you value as well. And so you could be coming into, like, money that you make for yourself. This could also indicate something along the lines of, your job, or something that you are initiating, something that you have initiated, maybe even being released from something, or you are possibly like letting go of something, right? So the dispositor of this moon is the sun, and it's saying the sun is currently in Aquarius in your eighth house. So this is about your focus being on your resources and money that you get from other people. So it could have a lot to do with like employer, employee type of vibes. Also, you might be receiving something from someone during this time. So you might be receiving gifts. You might be also loaning something to someone. So you might be the person getting a loan from someone, or it might be the other way around, like a reverse, where you're receiving a loan, or you're receiving something financially, or some type of gift or possession from someone at this time. But also it has a lot to do with you coming into feeling like really secure within your finances and how you make money for yourself. Okay. So for Leo, sun, moon, and rising, this full moon is happening in your sign. So it's in your first house, and it is directly affecting you, right? So just like Cancer, because Cancer is ruled by the moon, but in this case, it's happening in your sign, and it's in your first house. So this is something where you are coming into recognition of something about who it is that you are, something about yourself. Also releasing something, letting something go. Also, you could be launching something new, right? Something that is spiritual, or you are coming into like this recognition behind the scenes, because the moon rules your 12th house, about your commitments and things of that nature, because the dispositor is, which is the sun, is in your 7th house in Aquarius. So about your commitments, or your relationships with other people, or your connections with other people, and just kind of like letting that go, letting go of the commitments that you've made, that don't necessarily align with who it is that you are. And, maybe you even could be coming into a newfound sense of security within yourself, that you are okay with letting go self-sabotaging behaviors and thoughts, and, 12th house energy, that hidden enemy kind of vibe of what it is that you've been doing for you, or doing to yourself. Right. And so also maybe letting go of other people as well, when it comes to like self-sabotaging or hidden enemy kind of energy. And this is something you could be initiating, because it's happening in your first house, and this is the house of initiatives. And so that could also be something, but you could find yourself buying new clothes, changing your wardrobe, or just kind of like changing your appearance and how you show up completely at this time. All right. So Virgo, sun, moon, and rising. This full moon is happening in your 12th house. Okay. And so this is the house that rules spirituality and healing and self-sabotaging behaviors and art and creativity. And so you might be recognizing some things, Virgo, that has a lot to do with, on a spiritual dynamic or a spiritual front when it comes to what you need to be letting go of, what you could be releasing at this time. There could also be things coming undone, right? Because the 12th house is the house of undoing. So things could be coming undone when it comes to your 11th house energies, because the moon rules your 11th house. So maybe your material gains, your goals, achieving your goals. You could be coming into this achievement of that energy of you, maybe connecting, or you could be dissolving relationships and friendships at this time, or, connections with a large organization or something like that. You're just letting that go. And with that 12th house, it's a house of undoing, and the ruler is the sun, which is in your 6th house, which is the house of open enemies and, legal situations and things of that nature. It could have a lot to do with, something coming undone from on a legal front to help you achieve your goals, or you releasing something and then, focusing on the achievement of your goals also. Okay. So then we have Libra, sun, moon, and rising. This full moon is happening in your 11th house. Okay, so this is the house of achievements, right? Your goals, your material gains. This has a lot to do with friendships and networking circles. So with this full moon being here, it's like coming into this achievement or coming into this harvest season when it comes to you achieving your goals, right? So taking things into stock, maybe releasing old friendships, releasing being part of an organization or something like that, letting that go. The moon is the ruler of your 10th house. So it has a lot to do with maybe even getting recognition from someone in a position of authority when it comes to your career and the work that you do. And this is like an achievement for you, something you've been like embarking on or excited about. And also just allowing yourself to shine, allowing yourself to be very creative in your expression on a public front. The ruler of this moon is the sun. The sun is in your 5th house. So your focus is on your creativity. It's on your children as well. It's on hobbies and fun and joy and just kind of tapping back into the zest of life. And so doing that and then achieving your goals and then like allowing that to shine in your public image and allowing it to shine, and shift your social status. So that also could be something like maybe you are launching a creative project or you are releasing something at this time, letting something go, or achieving something when it comes to your creativity, or, maybe even your children or a romantic partnership. All right. So for Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising, the full moon is happening in your 10th house. So this is the house of career, public image, social status. This is your public image, all those things. Did I say that already? I think I did. Either way, full moon is here in your 10th house. So this is your responsibility to the world as well. And so with the moon ruling your 9th house and the sun, which is the dispositor of this moon, is in your 4th house in Aquarius. So it's like a focus on home and family, influential women that's in your life. This is about your foundation. It's about your actual real estate, and the moon is illuminating the energy from the 4th house into your 10th house. So it's like your home is going to be shine. It's like it's going to have a focus, right? But also you are the focus, so to speak. Is going to be more of a public thing, right? Who it is that you are, because the sun is your self-expression, right? And so the sun is in your 4th house. So who it is that you are within the home, so that's going to be a focus. But the moon rules your 9th house. So this is like legal situations, and this is about your goals. This could also be an indication of like higher education and traveling. So this might be where you're going to be reaping like a new trip or traveling for work, or just aligning to your path. And it could be, maybe announcing publicly that you're in school or that you're graduating. This could also be that, but could be indicating that you're getting a new job, or you are, that could be like you've been applying for something and now you're going to be receiving that. That's also a possibility at this time as well. Okay. So, Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising, the full moon is happening in your ninth house. Okay. So, with the full moon happening in your ninth house, something coming into fruition, you're releasing something when it comes to your beliefs, when it comes to long distance journeys, maybe even higher education, maybe a mentorship program could be launching or could be releasing or being let go of. Maybe something is coming into play about your actual beliefs and how that plays out when it comes to your intimate connections and relationships. The moon is the ruler of your eighth house. So that's about intimacy, and also could be about your resources. So this also could indicate that you're going to be receiving like a payout for maybe an inheritance or government money. That could be something also with the moon ruling your eighth house. Could be for school, right? Maybe a mentorship program. Also, the ruler, the sun, is in Aquarius, right? So that's in your third house, right? So the ruler or dispositor of this moon is in your third house. So the focus is your siblings. The focus is your small business. The focus is your immediate environment. It's about your skills and trades and the things that you have acquired, the things that you can teach other people. So it could also be about teaching. So maybe you're going to be launching a mentorship program, or you're getting into a mentorship program, but very much so about your lower level education. It could be about your foundational upbringing and your beliefs, and then understanding and releasing certain beliefs that no longer align with the path that you are on. Okay. All right, so Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising. This full moon is happening in your eighth house. So this is the house of intimate partnerships. This is a house of other people's money. This is about your resources. This is karma. This is secrets. So there could be some secrets that are being illuminated at this time that comes out about your resources or about your finances. The moon, or it could be a payout of something that comes at this time. Now, the moon is also the ruler of your seventh house. So this is like money that you could be getting from other people. This could be some secrets coming out about your partner's money, or it could be a release or a let go of some type of energy when it comes to money that you share with someone else. The sun, or the ruler of this moon, is in your second house, which is about money that you make for yourself and how you receive that money, how you make that money. Also, it's about your possessions and your values, right? So that's the focus, right? It's in Aquarius. The sun is there, but it's illuminating the energy of the money you make for yourself and the money that you get from other people, and then being bringing into focus of the commitments, or maybe a legal situation with it being in the seventh house, right? So that could also be something that happens at this time for you. All right, so Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising. This full moon is happening in your seventh house. So this is the house of other people. This is the house of your commitments, your relationships, marriage, and partnerships, things of that nature. So with a full moon being here in your seventh house, maybe you're going to be getting proposed to at this time. I don't know. Or you could just be letting go of a relationship, right? So it could go either way, right? It's like that achievement. You're either reaping a harvest for something, in a commitment, or the harvest could be that you're letting something go, letting a relationship go, or just a flat out commitment that you've made. The moon is the ruler of your sixth house. And so the sixth house is like, your daily routines, your habits, your health. So it could be, letting go or seeing the benefit of staying consistent with something, keeping a schedule, you initiating this, because the sun is currently in your first house, right? So the sun being the ruler of this moon, the dispositor of this moon, it's in your first house. So it's highlighting you, how you show up, how you initiate things, how your self-image, all of those things. So you could be breaking off a relationship, right? Or something along those lines, or it could be even like a mutual agreement, but definitely something you could be initiating at this time, making changes. All right. Now, last but not least, we have Pisces, sun, moon, and rising. And this full moon is happening in your sixth house. So this is the house of your daily routines, your habits, your work, your employees. This is your health. This is your schedule. So, recognizing what needs to be let go of when it comes to your health. When it comes to your daily habits, there could be the ending of like a legal situation. This could be wrapping up and you're receiving the harvest of that. The moon rules your fifth house, could be your children. It could be a creative project that you've been working on from every day, like in your daily routines, and you're receiving or reaping the benefits or the harvest of that. the fruits of your labor is what I just heard. So the dispositor of this moon is the sun. The sun is currently in your 12th house, so there could be something coming undone. So that might be something that is occurring at this time as well, or something is healing itself, right? With the sun being in your 12th house, but the moon is in your 6th house. So, just pay attention around this time that, you're paying attention to your health also, that you're not getting sick. Take care of yourself. Maybe even with it being in Leo, it could be, heart things, so just kind of pay attention to that, where it could be like the understanding of a heart situation that has been going on, or some kind of cardio, or maybe even children. So yes, that is all that I have for this, these 2 weeks of February, the first 2 weeks of February. So I hope that it has been beneficial and has been helpful. As always, check the description box so you can see all the things that I offer. Remember, this is the last month for the Celestial City. And then starting in March, we will be opening the new moon and full moon ceremonies to the public. And I will be, discussing more information about how that's going to work, and then showing where you can find it on my website and whatnot. So yes, indeed. Thank you all. Again, make sure you like, share, subscribe, follow, all things that, whatever. And yeah, that's all I got. I hope y'all have a wonderful first 2 weeks of February. January went by so quick. We're already like in the second month of the new year. It's wild. All right. But anywho.